Okay. Listen. People of the internet, it's me. It's your boy Kishi Wishi. We recorded these back to back. Yeah, just just bear with me. So in today's video, right? I shouldn't be laughing because it's kind of insensitive for someone in my position to be laughing because I have a girlfriend, so this video does not apply to me. Okay, it doesn't apply to me, right? But apparently, let me not even say apparently because I was single for a while, so I know the pain, but there's been a rising crisis amongst Gen Z and, for lesser extent, millennials aren't getting laid as much, and I wonder why. It's almost as if we've shamed people into not talking to each other and to be single. Like, there's literally articles out there where people are saying how it's embarrassing to admit that you have a partner, that you have a boyfriend specifically. Like, it's embarrassing for girls to say they have a boyfriend, and that niggas are just so sad and lonely and they can't pull any girls because the girls don't like them. So it's like, how are you gonna pull someone that doesn't like you or just hates men in general? Like, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, we watch a full video on it over on the stream, so you guys should totally tune into the streams. I'm trying to funnel you into the streams with these videos if you can't really tell. But yeah, enjoy.
Isn't
Robin Hood
having
Legend.
sex.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
I think I know why.
Picture a country where 1 in 4 young men hasn't been touched by another person in over a year.
You mean America?
No kiss, no date, nothing. That country
I wonder
is
what country
yours.
that is.
In the early 2010s, about 9% of American men in their 20s and early 30s said they
All right.
had no sex.
You see, I think this is cap. Robin Hood Legends is the charts version, so you can see candlesticks. That's the word I'm looking for, candlesticks. Yeah, when it comes to candlesticks, I don't understand that shit, but I'll do my research on that.
In the past year.
All right, we got to read this. Men and women ages 22 to 34 reporting no sex in the past year. Percentage of people who reported no sex in the past year, 9% in 2013.
This is my theory for these charts things, because I know it was going to say for 2025, 2026, BRB by the shower, I'm leaving you tabbed. Bet. Thank you for the ad time. But fucking... Yeah, I know the 2025, 2026 statistics is going to shoot up to like 30-40% or something like that. But I believe that the amount of people who aren't doing the do is the same amount of people back then. It's just back then people would lie. Because you're telling me if someone surveyed you and asked you, yo, did you have sex in the last 12 months? Back in 2012, you think niggas would be telling the truth? Fuck no. Nowadays, niggas are a little bit more honest because of how much we overshare on the internet.
To 2025. I wonder how high that percentage is going to jump today.
2022, that number had nearly tripled, 24%.
Yeah, no, this is just people being more honest. This is just more honesty, but I'm pretty sure it was the same back then too.
4. Women climbed
crazy.
too, from 8% to 13%. Still rising.
But not as bad as men, for obvious
The
reasons.
share of Americans having sex at least once a week collapsed. 55% in 1990, 37% in 2024.
And you wonder why the birth rate is collapsing.
An 18-point drop.
Crazy. I'm gonna blame social media, internet, lack of touching grass, lack of third spaces really, and everything being just incredibly expensive. And let's say the imaginary online gender war. Like in real life, none of this matters. I don't really see men and women yelling at each other, but of course online people feel safe and anonymous.
Yep.
But this goes far deeper than the bedroom.
Wow.
Americans used to spend over 6 hours a week with friends. Now the average person gets 35 minutes a day of face-to-face socializing.
Yep, that is something that,
You see, all these niggas be talking about, oh, don't move in with your girlfriend, don't do that, fuck that nigga. I have face-to-face time with another individual for like 12 hours a day if I'm not at work. Fuck you, nigga. Yeah, I'm socializing in my house. My house is a third space.
If you were a 90s kid and you were an early 2000s kid, you knew like during the summertime or, during whatever break, you were with your friends 6, 7, 8 hours a day just hanging out. There really was social media. The internet was a thing, but it really wasn't as pervasive as it is today.
Who used to hang out for over 2 hours a day after.
I think this is a more personality type driven thing, because even when I was in high school, like after school, me and my ragtag group of friends would literally hang out for like 4 or 5 hours. Like my mom would be so pissed that I'd be getting home at like 8, 9 o'clock. But it's like, yeah, he thought I was gonna say 6, 7. But no, I'd be coming home at 8, 9 o'clock because me and my friends were loitering around at McDonald's. But you think kids are doing that nowadays? And it's crazy for me to say that because like, it's only been 6 years. Like how did it change so much? Like these niggas don't be hanging out anymore. If they hang out, they're just on their phones. Like no, me and my friends are literally actively in conversation talking about the most retarded shit. Like that's how I have most of my funny is like references and shit that I do with people. I feel like if you don't do that at a young age, you don't know how to talk to people.
The rest of that time swallowed by screens. 9 hours of screen time every single day.
That is crazy. Yeah, after school, people used to hang out for hours. I didn't know it was down to 40 minutes now. Are you any like early Gen Zers in my chat? Like I'm an elder Gen Z, but like, is that
79% of Gen Z says they feel lonely. The average person now says they have 2 close friends. It used to be 5. 1 in 6 men says he has none. South Korea just posted a fertility rate of 0.75.
Damn,
the
not
lowest
even,
any nation has ever recorded in human history.
Well, South Korea,
they're gonna be pretty much
war.
extinct in like 100 years if they don't fix that.
In Japan, over half of men in their 20s are virgins.
Wow.
China saw more marriages disappear in a single year than some countries have people. And the part nobody wants to talk about, young men and young women are no longer just drifting apart romantically. They're splitting apart ideologically. The gender gap in the 2024 election was 31 points.
Yep, the whole political bullshit.
You know the funny thing is, this is one thing that I'll die on the hill. If you and your partner can't come to a compromise ideologically speaking, like you're both terrible people. You're both terrible people. I'm not gonna assign blame to the man or the woman. Like if y'all can't come together, y'all both terrible people because y'all both picked wrong. Like come on.
That people are like so infatuated, not realizing that both sides are controlled by like very small entities. It's an oligarchy being lobbied. Both sides are being lobbied essentially by the same people, just hedging bets on who's gonna win. Regardless of who wins, the people at the top are still gonna basically get what they want. It's not a conspiracy at this point. And also with social media, just standards have become way too high. People are way too deluded. People think they have many more options than they really have, and it really has fueled a lot of narcissism, a lot of ego, and just a lot of, I would just say,
I think it's a lot of ego on both sides. Just girls, it's like narcissism has risen so much to the point where I think the best way for me to put it is both men and women are narcissistic as shit. It's just when it comes to like gender dynamic or whatever, girls are more narcissistically optimistic and guys are more narcissistically depressing. Like they're so focused on themselves in a bad way when it comes to talking to women, and women think of themselves higher than they actually are when it comes to like their interactions with men. But y'all both narcissists. Y'all both only thinking about yourself.
Young men swung to the right, young women went further left.
Of course.
When I'm turning 16, I'm gonna get my license in Aussie, and if you're confused in my school when wait, what? I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish that thought.
Adopting different values and building separate realities.
Totally
and neither side
world.
has much interest in crossing over. This
Facts.
is a story about loneliness, screens, economics, politics, dating apps, cancel culture, the death of the cold approach, and the quiet vanishing of an entire generation's intimate life.
Facts. Listen, I don't think any of this is going to be solved, and this is speaking from a guy.
I wouldn't say the death of the cold approach. Like people still cold approach is just
social media.
The wrong types of people that solely do it instead of everyone
to where people are forced to interact with each other and touch grass in real life. Like I go outside and people like you see on these screens right now, they're literally just in my generation just looking down everywhere like robots. And I'm not gonna act like I don't do this too, but I'm very.
You see, this is where I can say I'm different. Like like dead ass. All right, I'm gonna open up. You know, it's Men's Mental Health Month, but during like 2021, I'll say 2021. From 2021 to like 2023, I was in a major depressive episode because of how much time I spent on screens. Ever since I got out of that, I've made it apparent that if I'm outside in a public setting, at most I will have music in my ears. And I specifically even got headphones like these that allows me to listen to music and still my surroundings, because I made it an effort to, even though I am antisocial or whatever the fuck, introverted, if I'm out in public and there's someone who wants to interact with me, I want them to be comfortable enough to be able to interact with me. Like, the lowest friction possible. Because I just think, like, bro, life is short. Why am I going to be outside on my phone? Like, if I want to be on my phone so fucking bad, I'll just go home. But, like, if I'm out in public, you're out in a public setting. You should be interacting with people. Like, why are you on your phone in a public setting? Like, come on, nigga. Like, unless you're waiting on the train or something like that, then be on your phone. But like, if you're walking around at a park, like, nigga, get off your fucking phone. Like, the only time I say be on your phone is if you're on a train or, like, transit. Like, yeah. And even then, I'm like, I'd be looking out the window and shit trying to see what's going on. Because I'm just a curious individual. But I think more people should be like that.
Be self-aware. And when I'm not doing business on like email or Gmail or whatever, or looking at YouTube stats, I'm looking up at the sky. Unironically, I look crazy. I'm looking up at the clouds because it's just like, holy shit, I need to circumvent this, right? So yeah,
this is why Gen Z isn't having sex.
Yeah. So
all right, okay. Before we get into opinions, ideology, or blame, let's lay out what we actually know, because we know a lot. The federal government has been tracking Americans' sexual behavior for decades through some of the most respected surveys in social science.
Yes, the government is very interested.
I was trying to say that when I'm turning 16, I had to practice driving and get my P license.
Economy is
the National Survey of Family Growth, run by the CDC, is one of the gold standard.
Yo, I'm so sorry. The delay on YouTube is so bad. It's so bad. I know what we were talking about. My bad, bro. Holy shit.
Data sets, and the numbers from its 2022 and 2023 wave hit like a truck. Among Americans aged 22 to 34, 24% of men reported zero sex in the past year. That's 24? Up from just 9% roughly 10 years earlier.
And let's 24% who admitted it were telling the truth. Imagine all the guys who were lying.
Not a gentle slope, a cliff.
Holy
For women in the same age bracket, it went from 8 to 13%. Not as sharp, but still a 50% jump in a decade.
Now that literally makes no sense. This surplus of men versus women, this means something. If you understand math, if it was equal on both sides, it would be parity. I mean, clearly, yeah. So you can do the math on that.
Male virginity doubled overnight. 10% of men in that age range said they had never had sex.
Clearly, basically, that surplus is going somewhere, essentially.
Institute for Family Studies put it plainly. Sexlessness among young men had roughly doubled across every measure. For women, it's up about 50%. And this isn't just one rogue data set. The 2024 General Social Survey backed it up.
And you want to know what's funny? COVID is going to be a part of the blame for this too.
What is that toy? The Rose toy is going ham right now. There's a reason for why that went viral.
25% of men aged 18 to 29, no sex in the past year. For women, 18.5%. The Kinsey Institute, one of the most recognized names in sex research, found that 1 in 4 Gen Z adults had never had partnered sex at all. For young men, it was 1 in 3. The trend didn't just materialize at age 21. The roots go back to adolescence.
Guys, we gotta change this. Like, what are we doing, guys? The guys and girls. Like, actually, what are we doing? Like, we're gonna lead our country to extinction if we don't actually get together, you know? And of course, this was only exacerbated by young people having years of their life being stolen by COVID. Let's be honest, that whole era, you know, people get mad when I say a lot of that was calculated, but okay, whatever, sure. You know, it came from nature, if that's what you want to believe. Still, you know, the heavy lockdowns, the mandated shut-ins still a lot of people's social abilities. Let's be honest.
In 2000, 80% of high school seniors had gone on a date that year. By 2023, 45%, cut nearly in half. Only 56% of Gen Z adults say they had any romantic relationship during their teen years.
That is...
Oh my God. Do you know... I'm going to sound like a whore, but it's not really like that because I wasn't really active in that regard when I was... before 18 or before 17, but like ever since I came to America, I would say I had at least 3 girlfriends per year. What is this title, bro? Bro, what day is it, bro? It's June 7th. It's June 7th, bro.
56% of Gen Z men, like,
but I'm not even joking. Like, from 7th grade to literally 7th grade to like 10th or 11th grade, I dated like 3 girls per year. And then I think 10th grade is when I dated by not I dated my longest relationship that spanned like 4 years. But like, yeah, back then it was normal. Like, I still know people from high school who are still in relationships. Are we dead eye right now? We are dead. Population. We are dead ass. 6, 7, nigga. Yeah.
And Gen Z who've not had interactions with women, no experience whatsoever, not even, I would say, kissing, no romantic relationship whatsoever, no crushes, no holding hands, no touching, like, you know, like come on, that's
Compare
crazy.
That to 78% of boomers.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, to think that there's people right now who aren't going through the same milestones that I went through in high school. Like, the whole getting anxious trying to touch somebody's hand. Like, now people are just anxious talking to each other. Like, what the fuck?
76% of Gen X.
That's so sad.
45% of Gen Z men had zero relationship experience as teenagers. That's double the rate of older generations. The CDC's Youth Risk Behavior Survey shows that only 32% of high school students in 2023 had ever had sexual intercourse.
So I'm going to again blame social media, rising standards, compare and contrast on social media, lack of third places, and things just being incredibly expensive. How are you as a guy going to take a girl out if what used to be $1 or $2 on the McDonald's value meal is now like $5, $6, $7, $8, right? Meanwhile, we're competing with the entire world. A lot of jobs that were relegated for teenagers back in the day are now like actual grown people are holding them. So essentially, teenagers are not able to get.
Bro, the amount of like, Sophia doesn't like when we go there, but there's a Chipotle in my area that I literally call Young Ho Pole because everybody that works there are literally like high schoolers, college students. But for the most part, every other fast food place in the greater Miami area, it's like 30-year-olds that are still working there. I'm just like, holy shit. I think at the age of 30, I would have given up working in fast food if I'm not a manager. Like, unless you're a fucking manager, why is your old ass working fast food? But it's like a lot of the people in Miami are immigrants, and those are the easiest jobs to get. So that's why there's less high schoolers in those jobs. But my first job was literally the McDonald's right next to my house.
Jobs as easy as they used to be able to get them, and young people are now having to compete with AI and just like cheap foreign labors that corporations keep selling us out for. So it's ridiculous. I mean, things are expensive, lack of third places, social media addiction. People can, get dopamine hits from unlimited access, from doom scrolling and other, online activities.
In 2021, that number was 54%. So we're not just staring at a blip. This is a generational shift, one that started in the teenage years and accelerated into adulthood.
Hey, when you don't have anybody to teach you these things when you're a kid, as a teenager, of course, when you become an adult, you're not going to learn. Who's going to teach you unless you try to teach yourself? So it makes sense.
Now, here's where the story goes from young people aren't hooking up to something much bigger. Because the decline in sex doesn't exist in a vacuum. It sits on top of a collapse in friendship, socializing, and basic human contact. The Atlantic's Derek Thompson coined a term for...
And I blame, yeah, it's still the same stream, so I'm going to talk about it, but in the video that does come out after the stream, it's going to be a little bit confusing. But in my previous earlier in the stream, I was talking about how badly the pandemic affected Gen Alpha when it comes to socializing and that. It's also Gen Z. Because we were the ones who, as adults, we got neutered into staying indoors and not going around talking, doing hood rat shit with our friends. But for those, it's as if in Gen Z, the ones who were mischievous are the ones that are more socially calibrated now. The ones who were obedient to their parents about the whole COVID lockdown thing, they're the ones that are brainwashed. Mr. Lonely.
The antisocial century, and the numbers back him up. Americans historically spent 6.5 hours a week with friends. Between 2014 and 2019, before COVID, that dropped to 4. By 2024, the average American was getting 35 minutes of in-person social time per day, down from 42 a decade earlier.
So historically 6.5 for all of, I guess, human history. Then before COVID, 2019, 4 hours. And then after COVID, 35 minutes a day, I think. That's nuts. Like, of course, this is, again, let me not head into my conspiratorial, mode right now, but hey, the damage is...
what's crazy? On some of the last people of Gen Z, I'm young. What are you talking about? The Gen Z cutoff. I think the youngest Gen Z is like 16 years old. So like you're not a young. You're not even an adult yet, bro. Like calm down. Calm your ass down.
It's not healthy. How do you expect man and woman to come together? Or
no, the fuck it, yo, no. I don't claim y'all. I don't claim y'all. Nope. Youngest Gen Z. God damn it. Youngest Gen Z is 14. Yo, no, we need to do a cutoff, bro. We need to do a cutoff. There's no way me and a 14-year-old don't have nothing in common. How the fuck are we in the same generation? No. Yeah, Gen Z needs to get cut in half. 1997 to 2007. No, y'all. What the fuck? Me and a 14-year-old have nothing in common. I'm saying that, but you're a part of my Twitch chat, so I'm low-key being a fucking hypocrite.
just on a friendship basis, a friend group to form long-lasting relationships if people are not in close proximity to each other. Now, I would say technically there's nothing stopping people from doing these things. It's just, it's easier to contact each other via social media. And there's not that sense of mystery anymore, or that sense of urgency anymore when you have instant access to everyone, right? You're not longing for these people anymore because you can just hop on Discord, hop on Skype. For those of you,
true.
Skype, does that even still exist? I don't know. Google Meets,
Skype.
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and see these people, right? You don't have to actually head to their house anymore. You can literally just talk to them with these modern technologies. It's sad, actually.
Robert Putnam documented the decline years ago. By 2000, Americans were 58% less likely to attend a club meeting and 45% less likely to have friends over than they were 25 years earlier. COVID wiped out even more.
Whose uncle uses Facebook, bro? I barely use Facebook. Literally, I just go on there because I get notifications from it now. That's literally the only reason I open up Facebook, is because I see the notification. That's it. And when I open it, I just look at it and then I close it and go back to whatever I was doing.
For young people, unstructured time has been slashed. Helicopter parenting, overscheduled childhoods, and the share of adults 25 to 34 living with their parents doubled from 9% in 2000 to 18 in 2023.
I gotta say, I don't know anybody
Holy
in my age group. Again, I'm like literally the only one who has the ability, of course, because of my position, to live by themselves and afford things. But literally everyone I know is either living with a roommate or they live with their parents or something, some way, shape, or form. Like they have no stability or independence, and that's
funny. I was living by myself and then my girlfriend moved in. It's like I'm speedrunning starting a family, bro. Wow. I have a friend, not to throw him under the bus, and I'm not gonna say his name, but I have a friend who has a girlfriend that they live in her parents' house with her siblings, and I'm just like, no, I'm a big 24-year-old man. I want to be able to and not worry about anyone. I have a friend. Fuck you, nigga. I have multiple friends. That's just the one of them that I know that lives with their girlfriend's parents. Other ones live by themselves too, low-key. So that nigga's in the running too. And then I know other people who just live with their parents. I'm just like, damn, if you're single and you live with your parents past the age of 20, I just think you just want to be a teenager for the rest of your life. Like, and I will be, I'll use that as a slur. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I actually advocate for that. Live with your people, live with your parents.
Like, it's a slur for me, people who are adults that are so dependent on their parents in a huge capacity.
People to come together and be in close proximity to each other, which I think is cool, but it's a sign of the economic times that we live in.
Well, let me roll back some of that criticism. If you have a job and you're working to save up money to eventually move out and be on your own, that's one thing. But if you're like just playing video games and not doing shit with your time professionally, like the NEET lifestyle, like literally NEET backwards is teen. NEET. Wait, actually, I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna pause this video real quick just to do a little, like, this NEET. This is what a NEET is for any of you who are confused. Oh wait. Okay, look, see, NEET stands for not in education, employment, or training. It is a categorization used by government, labor, and social agencies to describe young individuals, typically ages of 15 to 24, who are entirely disengaged from the workforce and the schooling system. So literally, if you are a NEET, you are mentally 18. Because what do you mean you live with your parents and all you do is play on Discord all day and you don't have a fucking job or girlfriend or partner? Like you kind of need to have a job to have a partner. I'm sorry. If you don't have a job and you have a partner, man or woman, you're a fucking bum and you're using that nigga. Unless you got kids. I play MC 24. Nigga, you're in high school. It doesn't count. You're in school. You are in school. It does not count for you. You're literally a teenager. You are exempt from that.
The instability. Clearly, like, people are struggling.
Unless you're not in school, then, bro, lock the fuck in, bro.
Privacy for romance? Good luck.
That's the issue. Privacy for romance. If you're literally living with your mom or dad or parents or whatever it's going to be hard to actually have a girl over to chill and actually do things with her.
I'm not a dropout, bro.
Do, right?
And here's the painful irony. 58% of Gen Z says they'd prefer to meet a romantic partner in person. They want organic connections. They just don't have the places, the time, or for many of them, the social skills to make it happen.
Of course, people want serendipity. They want happenstance. They want to feel like there's some spark, some connection there. And that is what I see, you know, on my daily, what do we call adventures? My daily rendezvous. People actually they're tired of, they're burnt out of the internet shit. They're burnt out of the digital age and they want authenticity. And I can see it. I can definitely see that. iPhone. Yeah, social media age popped up 2006, 2007, right?
Nearly every data set converges on the same inflection point, somewhere between 2010 and 2015. That's when smartphones became basically universal among teenagers. Jonathan Haidt calls it the Great Rewiring. Dean Twenge analyzed surveys covering...
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I got my first phone I was like 12 or some shit. I got the flip phone from AT&T. Mind you, I was a kid, so my hands were smaller, and even that phone could fit in the palms of my hands, and I could like wrap my hands around it like, yo, I'm
over 11 million young people, and found that...
But then my dad a year later got me like one of those flip phones, and ultimately it got stolen. Some guys robbed me. It was like those, not a flip phone, it was like the touchscreen slide out keyboard AT&T phone.
When I was in Jamaica as a kid, I wanted one of these phones so bad. It's crazy. Like respectfully, if I had to choose between this phone and a smartphone at the time, I would have picked this phone. That's how much I wanted a phone like this, because I just thought like a slide out keyboard, a keyboard on a phone. But then literally, now every phone is literally just a piece of glass in your pocket. Like, where's the fun? Why don't we just have a full on keyboard anymore? And I'm pretty sure there are phones that do that still, but it's not. We strayed away from that. We convinced people to just have a piece of glass in your pocket at all times.
It was so cool too, and I got robbed. It was like in some park, like by a skate rink. But anyway,
in the 2010s spent a full hour less per day on face-to-face socializing than teens in the 80s, even though they actually had more free time. Gen Z now averages over 6 hours a day on their phone.
That is crazy.
69%
say they're addicted, and the displacement is measurable. The Institute for Family Studies found that weekly in-person social time among young adults roughly half.
All right, so we hear all the stats. We all already know this. If you're a Gen Z, you likely know either you're experiencing this yourself or you have a brother or sister. Even if you're a parent, you see your kids, you have your friends, you see the problem, you see the issue, and this is a very self-aware, self-identifiable issue. Now, how do you solve this? Literally just go outside and start making friends. But here's the thing, easier said than done, because you try to talk to a Gen Z people or person, bro, they're so like, it's like people have lost all ability to socialize. And this is why I'm so glad that I was a kid, where I had part of my childhood before social media became so rapid or prevalent or pervasive in our culture, because at least I got to experience
my phone usage is not that much.
Life with people who actually
mine kind of is, but that's usually if it's a damn working
socializing. So if you were a Gen Z person who are struggling with this, you're just gonna have to force it. You're gonna have to actually walk up to people and talk to them, because those people likely are not gonna walk up to you and talk to you, unfortunately. And then check this.
And
check
that
this
drop
out.
started well before COVID. Here's the one thing that might freak you out.
Here it comes.
According to the American Time Use Survey, The typical female pet owner now spends more time with her pet than in face-to-face contact with her friends. Let that sit for a second.
Let that sink in. That is crazy. Guys, again,
between 80 and 90% of young adults report having been exposed to pornography. The average first exposure, somewhere between ages 10 and 13. Among
Yikes. Bombo clat, you want me to switch back to my native language, walk on batty boy. But yeah, the first time I ever see corn, the first time I ever see corn, I think I was around the age of 7. It was not a good time, you know. Little pit enough is supposed to see them things, but you know, it is what it is. I had internet, I had a desktop computer. And they did not regulate the internet like that back then. Even now, you can still don't do it. I already know you guys seen it, but whatever. I was just writing down in my little notes app. So for those of you who don't know, I was age 6 when I saw my first code. I clicked on a YouTube, but through YouTube, there was a time. You know, that actually lines up. I think it was around like 2019, 2020. Funny enough, during COVID, I think that's when the most amount of like weirdo ads on YouTube. But for those of you who don't know, I actually do write down my oh, hold on. Yeah, I have a notes app. I literally write down video ideas in here. So I was just writing something down right now that I said earlier in the stream. Because I think Gen Z is smarter because we surf the internet on computer. Yeah, I'll make that into a video soon, and hopefully you guys like it. But back to this one.
About 17% use it daily, 2.5 times the rate of older men. Heavy use has been linked to lower rate of sexual satisfaction, weaker commitment in relationships, and for roughly 45% of heavy male users, erectile dysfunction.
Again, that's the problem with instant dopamine, right? I talk shit about Amazon and how Amazon has basically shuttered mom and pop stores, and you wonder why we have lack of third places. You have these mega conglomerates who are basically monopolizing and what's the word? They're just absorbing everything, you know, where you would have a brick and mortar to get particular products like a Best Buy or a B&H, a Blockbuster back in the day, or a Toys R Us. Now all of that is gone, gone the way of the dodo, because Amazon has essentially absorbed all our cultural icons, our third places. Malls are now, a lot of malls
I don't know if I'm
just desolate now, right? Because
I don't know if I'm just smart, but I might be the first 13-year-old to ever know how to code as a Gen Z. Bro, you know what? You got that, bro. Well, no. I knew kids who knew how to code. Just me. For me, if I'm not actively engaging in a skill, that shit disappears. I know that about me. That's why, like, recently I've been forcing myself to make videos, because the more I realize, the more I edit, the better and faster I get at it. But, like, if I take, like, 2-3 weeks off, I'm ass. I've been coding for years. No, when I was, no. I'm not saying like discredit you. You're not the first 13-year-old. Like people my age back when they were your age, I knew some kids in my school that were coders and could code games. Especially Minecraft, like through the Minecraft education mod.
Every store has to compete with Amazon or a Walmart. These mega supermarkets, and nobody does Amazon.
But I personally don't know how. Back in my time,
no.
Hey, my time was 10 years ago.
That is crazy, but yeah, you get the point.
Damn, I
you
sound
have
old.
one ease of access, instant dopamine, instant cart, 2-day shipping, and you trade it off for social ability. You trade it off for actually having physical contact and being in the presence of people while you're out
low key recently.
But
I keep pausing this video, but more recently I've been making an effort to buying stuff in person because I'm so impatient, and I'm just thinking like, yes, instant gratification, this, instant gratification, that through Amazon. You order, it shows up the next day. No, nigga, I want to put in the work and get the reward immediately. Like I will put in the effort to get the reward. I think instant dopamine is people that want to put in the minimum effort to get maximum reward. No, I'll put in maximum effort to get maximum reward and just be satisfied with my reward. So I'll literally look up places in my area that have the stuff. Like, for example, this microphone right here uses a very old school connection. Like it uses a mini USB. It doesn't use micro. Mini USB is like from 2006. The PlayStation 3 used the mini USB. So I could have just simply ordered it on Amazon and get it the next day. But I was like, no, I'm going to look it up and see what places in my area might sell it. I know fucking Micro Center sells it, but I'm not driving halfway across a city 30 minutes. So I went to the local Ace Hardware and they had it, and I had to speak to a real person in person. But I had a thought. I wanted something. I went to a place to get it, and I got it. What people do, for the most part, is I have a thought, I want something, I tap a few buttons, and then I get it the next day. And I didn't have to do anything other than just request it and pay for it. Nope. I'll get off my ass and go pick it up. Cause like, nigga, I want my shit right now. Hey, I back. Zora Catalina.
For a particular
what do you mean you're back? When were you here before? I didn't see you before.
Service usually came with socializing
welcome back.
with people in the real world. Now that you can order anything literally with the click of a button straight to your door within 48 hours, we've traded that off for essentially human contact.
But there's one important wrinkle. The casual direction is debated, and one finding really complicates the narrative that porn alone is driving this. Gay men haven't seen comparable declines in sexual activity, even though they consume porn and play video games at a similar or higher rates. So whatever's happening, it's not as simple as screens replaced sex.
Well, I mean, gay guys, based off of my experience, are just very chill people, very relaxed and very straight.
It's crazy. It's almost as if the way how the modern day of instant dopamine, instant gratification is just trying to encourage more people to be gay, because in order to experience the good part of instant gratification, you need to be gay. If you're a straight person and you want instant gratification all the time, I'm sorry. Girls don't have the same libido as men, and they're not going to want to be in the mood all the time. So sometimes you're going to have to slow down and just hang out with your girlfriend and spend quality time with her, right? But if you're gay, you can just keep doing exactly what you want. But I have to go to bed because we have to go to the hospital tomorrow and see my uncle, so bye-bye. Okay, I hope he's well. I hope your uncle gets well soon. Goodbye, bye, Helen.
Forward. There's not this whole song and dance of like, there's just no run around. Like gay guys, I'm telling you, like a guy as a guy, I'm gonna be honest, who has been hit on by multiple guys throughout my entire life. Yeah, these guys are just very straightforward and honest. I kind of respect that, although they kind of go too far sometimes if they are actually into you. So yeah, that is something obviously heterosexual males and females struggle with, because people are just, I don't like the games either. If we like each other, let's make that known. We understand the vibe, and let's see what happens after that. But yeah.
Pew found 64% of men who tried online dating felt insecure from the lack of responses.
Yeah.
54% of women felt overwhelmed by too many.
Yeah, because men are the thirsty gender and women are, well, they have a lot of options on dating apps, essentially.
So one side of the market is starving and the other side is drowning, and both walked away frustrated. If you've spent any time in the corners of the internet where young men discuss dating, you've heard the phrase, the 80-20 rule. The idea that 80% of women are only interested in the top 20% of men.
Well,
oh my god, specific, you fucking scared me.
Only interested in the top 20%,
came like a vampire.
But that is the first preference. Like that is the preference in terms of the group.
So let's unpack. The claim didn't come from any peer-reviewed study. It traces back to a 2015 blog post on Medium by an anonymous user who ran
and you let a fly in here? What the fuck?
Data. The author himself admitted flaws in his methodology.
Yeah, there's a fucking moth flying around now.
OkCupid's 2009 internal data, which showed that women rated 80% of male profiles as below average in attractiveness.
Brutal.
That sounds devastating until you look deeper. Those same women still messaged the men they'd rated poorly.
Exactly. That's why you gotta specify. It's a preference. It's not like an absolute, right? It's not like 80% of men are literally getting no play out here, but it is a preference, right? It's like going into an ice cream shop and getting your preferred flavor. But if they're out of your preferred flavor, which may have been strawberry or vanilla or chocolate, you may settle for pistachio. It's okay, but it's like not what you wanted at first.
Meanwhile, men funneled almost all their messages to the most attractive women. A 2025 study of 4,500 speed dates found that face-to-face is the gender selectivity gap. The gender selectivity gap is far smaller than on apps.
Of course, because on apps, dating apps, it's about your physicality mostly. That's what that's about. Let's be honest here. In person, there's pheromones, like actually, because we're animals. Of course, you can physical contact, you can see aura, like not literally muscularly, but you know, your body, physical contact. You can see someone's breathing, their pulsation, like their body language. You can see them flustering their hairs, looking away. Like these things are natural. And again, this is why I harp on the fact that social media and our addiction to these platforms are, I believe, is one of the leading contributors of the fracturing of men and women dating.
Men said yes about half the time, women about a third. That's a 1.5 times difference. At the 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio that you see on swiping platforms. The 80-20 rule is a massive oversimplification. It reflects something real about how dating apps concentrate attention, but it is not evidence that 80% of men are invisible to women in the real world.
Right, the real world. This is why I gotta make this distinction. We gotta get rid of social media. We got, like, in terms of dating apps, just, they have to go. They're retarded. Like, they're actually bad. And I genuinely believe they're not good for the psychology of males or females, to be honest. Me, daddy.
That's more likely to get their news from YouTube, where recommendation algorithms can funnel viewers towards manosphere content. Young women consume content that reinforces progressive frameworks. They're building worldviews in parallel that barely overlap. And they're supposed to sit across from each other at dinner and find common ground.
That's
it's
facts.
Not working.
The thing is, if a man and
well, you see, the content that I'm going to get is gonna be the way it is regardless, because that's the type of stuff I do search up actively. Like, I actively go looking for it. Like, most of the stuff that I watch on YouTube, like, I do get stuff recommended, but like, I could be conditioned to searching up this type of stuff I do, but I would like to think that no, it's on YouTube, because Instagram, you're more likely to just see stuff and not actively look for stuff. But then on YouTube, I have to pick the video. I pick the video out of the algorithm. It's not like I just watch exactly what it shows me forcefully.
I have shared values in a country, politically, ideologically, even just socially, then there's nothing to talk about, right? Because both, I mean, I don't know, some guys do like conform to a woman's standards, but like there's a lot of guys who don't. Like for me, example, I have my values and my principles, and I'm pretty much like not changing them in dating, because that's like, you know, I have my beliefs, I have my perspectives, and pretty much I'm not gonna change my values just because I want vagina. That's like crazy. Was this before social media? Someone said, dude, I need a guy like you. Well, you know, I'm single. No, but I am single. I know, but like, no. They said, OMG, yeah, I can come over later. Another person said, sweet, you can pick the movie. She said, how tall are you? He said 5'7". Haha, why? She said nothing. Just wondering, oh my God, my friend is stuck at the airport.
Also,
and I have to go there.
Also, did you donate $250 to yourself? Because I've seen that donation for a while. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. No habla inglés.
Her tonight. I'm so sorry, bro.
Long story short, somebody had money and they wanted to put it through the donation system, but I don't know who that person is.
That is actually brutal.
Why are you just standing over there offering? Come here.
Wow. Hey, man.
Imagine this. It's 2004. You're at a bar. You spot someone across the room. You walk up. You say something. Maybe it's smooth. Probably it isn't. But either way, it's a private moment between two people. Yeah. Nobody recorded it. Nobody posted it. Nobody got their life ruined for taking a shot. Fast forward to today. Gen Z is the first generation to go through puberty, and young adults
resent it in Spanish. And the camera's looking at you. Can you read that in Spanish for us, Sophia? Wow, I swear, she no sabe, bro.
Fuck you.
No sabe.
Adulthood entirely under the microscope. Every awkward encounter, every rejected pickup line, every cringy DM can be screenshotted, posted, shared, mocked, and archived.
All right, nigga. All right, I don't speak Arabic.
A lot of young men are not approaching women because, first of all, everything surveillance state, CCTV, TikTok, Snapchat, everything. Like, you approach a girl, she doesn't like you or is not attracted to you for whatever reason. She pulls out her phone and now she wants to clown you, or her friends are doing it, or somebody across the way, because everybody wants to film everything. Nothing is organic. And like, I'm gonna end the video with this. People feel spied on. People don't feel comfortable anymore. Social media, dating apps, doom scrolling, goy slop. What else? Ridiculous standards, compare and contrast, lack of third spaces, inflation, the devaluing of our dollar, fracturing political, ideological, social, culture, the ongoing online gender war. Yeah, no shit as to why, you know, young Gen Z and younger generations are struggling. I mean, who could have seen this one coming, right? So honestly, I don't know how we're gonna solve this. All I can say is, guys, enjoy the ride. It's gonna be a long and bumpy one.
Bro, I can't believe that took 30 minutes to watch. Holy shite. All right. This is what happened.